Hi everybody, I'm Nancy Quinn. If you're not familiar with my work, I'm an author and a wildlife artist, and I live on the side of a mountain in the wilds of Montana. I wanted to ask you a question today. I was wondering how many of you enjoy the experience of someone reading to you out loud. And I'm not talking about an event like a book reading or a lecture. I mean just reading at home. When I have an interview on a talk show, sometimes it comes up in conversation that my husband reads to me at home. It's something that we really enjoy doing together. And sometimes we will stop and look up a word, or we'll have a little discussion about what we read, or we might even look up a place, on the internet. So it's something we've been doing for years, and I look forward to it in the evenings. I think hearing his voice is very soothing, and it's just something we've always done together. Well, when I mentioned it, I didn't realize how much controversy it was actually going to spark, because I don't see it as a controversial issue, but I guess some people are really surprised. And I get questions like, do I feel insulted? Or does it make me feel like a child? And, it's unusual, it's weird, which I really don't think it is. But I thought today I would see how you like to be read to. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter, I'm only going to read a page or two. But I'd like you to sit back and see if you can enjoy this experience, and then tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel about it when it's over. Let me find the first chapter. I'm going to read from the third book in my Western trilogy, which is Still West of Nowhere, because we are still here. Okay, so sit back and just try to enjoy and see what you think. Chapter 1, Home is where our story begins. I find being in my kitchen extremely comforting. I enjoy the moments of thoughtful meditation while stirring batter. The fragrance of butter when it sizzles in the pan, and the sound of utensils clinking as I search each drawer for just the right implement. Over the years, I have had the opportunity to bake, broil, barbecue, and burn meals in many states across this continent. But having settled into a Montana lifestyle for 13 years, at least I can enjoy the oasis of serene predictability that my kitchen offers me. This day was no exception. My mind was at ease. I was not worrying about my family's future, any health issues, or if we might have to relocate someplace else. I suspected Mother Nature and Old Man Winter were conspiring and would soon come knocking, but the pantry was well stocked for the frigid days ahead, and this added to my sense of security. Sonia, my youngest daughter, was helping me in the kitchen. Sandy, her older sister, was upstairs, deeply engrossed in writing a college theme paper. Nothing would deter her focus, save for the scent of vanilla drifting in the air. I waited expectantly for it to waft up the stairs and seep into her room. Despite now being a young teenager, Sonia happily sang and hummed like a child as she stirred the cookie batter. I listened quietly to the intermittent sound of the soft rendition of silver bells. It was Christmas time, not just in the city, but in our mountain as well. The dough's thick enough, I said. Now roll them into balls and put them on the sheet. Mom, I'm not a kid anymore. I know how to do this, she snapped back. Sonia, just because you're now taller than me doesn't mean you have the right to be disrespectful. Sonia's face sank and her voice softened. I'm sorry, Mom. I just thought you didn't trust me. Well, of course I trust you. That's why you're making the cookies. I'm only trying to help. Mike Graham taught me how to make them when I was smaller than you, and I want the tradition to be passed to your children someday. I'm not going to have any kids. I may not even get married. Now you're starting to sound like Sandy. Hey, I enjoy making cookies. Sandy just enjoys eating them. True enough, but practice makes perfect, and that's why you have to combine the right quantities of Amish butter, flour, ground pecans, and vanilla. I know, and then we bake them for a few minutes and roll them in powdered sugar while they're still warm so they look like little snowballs. That's right, honey girl, and we would never think of wasting them by throwing them at each other. The moment of tension had passed, and Sonia was again relaxed and laughing. Her features may have been maturing, but her emotions remained a mix of childhood and budding young womanhood. 2 teenagers in the family at the same time? Would I survive the drama? The hours passed quickly, and it was late afternoon when I heard the doorbell. I wasn't surprised because we often had packages delivered to our door by UPS, particularly at this time of year. Additionally, being a rural route, we didn't have any mail delivery to our home, but we were required to retrieve it from the Mullen post office. Sonia stopped humming and asked, "Do you want me to get the door?" "No, keep stirring, I'll get it. I don't want you seeing any Christmas surprises." I hurried down the hall while wiping away the dough from my fingers from the holiday cloth. As a precaution, I peered through the large oval glass at the front door. The textured beveling made it impossible to discern who was there, but I could tell it was not the outline of our usual delivery man, Jim. It was somebody much larger, whose features were so distorted that I could not fathom who it might be. I cracked the door just an inch and peered through the opening. There stood our white gelding, Wilson. Puzzled, I immediately scanned the vicinity, but saw no one else. I opened the door further and looked down the road, where our other horse, Whiskey, was slowly walking towards us. His dark reddish color stood out against the brilliant white of the snow, but all around was stillness. Curious, Sonia came beside me and peeked outside. "Who is it?" "Oh, hi, Wilson. Where's Jim?" "It's not Jim, just Wilson," I replied, rather puzzled. "No packages?" "Not unless Mr. Wilson brought them." He perked up his ears at the mention of his name, clearly pleased by our company, and took a step closer to the door where he began to nibble at the green wreath we had hung next to it. As he nipped away, I saw his lips brush against our doorbell, a green cast-iron frog that was a memento from our first home in Florida. Sonia laughed in disbelief. "Wilson likes to ring doorbells?" Maybe he heard about the cookies, or just smelled them cooking. "Did you do that on purpose, Mr. Wilson?" she teased. The look on his face as he lifted his head and snorted confirmed our suspicions. Well, I'm going to stop there. And I would love to know if you enjoyed having somebody read to you. So let me know in the comments. And if you like this part of the story, I do hope you pick up a copy of Still West of Nowhere. It is an ebook and it is a paperback as well. So I'm going to say goodnight for now, and I'll see you again soon. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing, you may visit my website, which is nancyquinnauthor.com. But of course, you can still go to quinnwildlifeart.com. So I will be seeing you soon. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. Good night.